Level 1, the wretch. You are 19 years old. You live in Ashenvale, a city of mud and smoke on the edges of the kingdom of Valdris, where the law belongs to whoever has enough gold to buy it. The streets smell of manure and rotting meat. The city guards drink at the tavern while thieves operate in broad daylight. You see them, men with leather cloaks and swords at their hips, sitting on heavy horses, coins jingling at their belts. They have what you don't: space in the world. Your father died in the War of the Northern Borders. A spear went through his chest for 3 silver a week, serving a lord who barely knew his name. Your mother succumbed to the black fever last winter. You scrape hides at a tannery for 2 copper a day and sleep on the floor with the other apprentices, sharing a flea-ridden blanket. On the outer wall of the guard post, there are notices pinned with wax. Sketched faces. Names. Crimes. Rewards. 2 silver for a barn thief. 5 silver for a road bandit. A full gold coin for a murderer. 1 gold coin. That is a full year of your work at the tannery. You stop in front of those notices every morning. You memorize the faces. You do the math. One day, the captain of the guard catches you staring. He is a broad man with a scar on his chin and eyes that have seen too much. He asks if you know how to use a knife. You say yes. He asks if you have ever killed anything. You say pigs on your uncle's farm. He smiles without humor. He tears one of the notices off the wall and presses it against your chest. Aldrich the Greasy, barn thief and road bandit. 2 silver, dead or alive. You take it not because you are brave. You take it because you are hungry and winter is coming. You leave that same afternoon with a knife at your belt, an old bow on your back, and a borrowed horse that limps on its front right leg. No plan. No experience. Just the notice and the hollow in your stomach. You find Aldrich camped along the banks of the Grey River 3 days later. A fat, tired man using a stolen sack of flour as a pillow. You stay hidden in the brush for a full day, watching. When he sleeps deeply, you move in. You call his name. He wakes with a start, his hand going for his short blade. But you are already on top of him. The knife goes in once, twice. He stops moving. You kneel in the mud for a long time, trembling, staring at your hands in the pale light of early morning. You drag the body back to Ashenvale. The captain examines the corpse, listens to your account, and counts 2 silver coins into your hand. You have never held that much money. You spend 6 copper on bread and salted meat, for copper on a clean room for 3 nights. The rest you keep. You don't sleep well that night. You keep seeing Aldrich's face in the dark. But 2 silver coins are real. The warm room is real. Welcome to the hunt. Level 2, the tracker. You are 23 years old. 4 years on the road. 17 men taken. 11 delivered alive. 6 dead. You learn fast because those who don't learn fast in this trade don't live long enough to regret it. Tracking is not following footprints in the mud. Any peasant can do that. Tracking is thinking like prey. Where would you hide if the entire kingdom wanted your head? You work for 3 different lordships now: Valdris, Heronmore, and the Eastern Marches. You earn around 60 silver a year. More than blacksmiths. More than carpenters. More than you ever dreamed. But the work costs you. You spend weeks in the saddle, sleeping in the rain, eating tough game meat, drinking from streams that give you cramps for days. You have been wounded for times. An arrow buried itself in your left forearm near a village called Dunmere. You still feel the cold in that arm on winter nights. You are tracking a man named Edwin Two Fingers. Horse thief. 40 silver reward. He is clever. He constantly changes direction, wades through riverbeds, sleeps in ruins and caves. But you learn from a Nordori hunter, a man from the deep northern forests, how to read bent branches, disturbed moss, ash-covered embers still faintly warm. You find Edwin after 15 days hiding in an abandoned monastery on the hills above Greyvale. You call his name from outside. You give him the option. Most take it. They are exhausted, starving, ready for it to be over. Edwin walks out with his hands raised, weeping. You bind him and walk for days back to the nearest town, him on foot behind your horse. He begs for water. You give him enough to survive, not enough to be comfortable. You collect the 40 silver. The entire journey cost 18 days and 12 silver in supplies. You made 28 clear. But your reputation grows. The lords know you are reliable. They prefer alive because dead men raise questions, investigations, families demanding justice. Alive is cleaner. Alive is safer. For now. Level 3, the Manhunter. You are 28 years old. November. Wind comes down from the Iron Mountains with teeth of ice. You are no longer chasing barn thieves. You are hunting Harwick the Red. Harwick was the personal guard commander of the Duke of Heronmore. 8 months ago, he murdered the Duke in his sleep, emptied the castle treasury, released the dungeon prisoners to create chaos, and vanished into the night with 40 armed men. Lords, knights, and mercenaries tried to capture him. 8 came back in coffins. 2 never came back at all. The widowed Duchess posted a reward of 800 gold coins. Every hunter on the continent wants that purse. You partner with a man named Brennan of Ashmark, a disgraced former knight ruined by debts, cold as iron in winter. Brennan knows Harwick personally, served alongside him for 5 years, knows how he thinks, how he plans, where he feels safe. You have the tracking. He has the knowledge. Together you assemble a group of 6 men. You track Harwick for 2 months across the eastern marches through burned villages, looted farms, a trail of brutality he uses to feed his men and fund his escape. You find him entrenched in an old fortress in the Crestfall Hills. 40 men, low walls but defensible. Brennan proposes a false negotiation. A messenger enters with promises of amnesty from the Duchess, all lies. But Harwick lets them in. He is too confident, too isolated to think clearly. In the early hours of the 3rd day, you open the gate from the inside. The battle lasts 40 minutes. Harwick loses 23 men. You lose 2. Brennan loses 3 fingers from his left hand to an axe blow. Harwick is captured alive, chained, brought back to Heronmore in a cart. The Duchess hangs him in the main square before a crowd that throws mud and stones at his swaying body. You watch from a distance, leaning against a pillar. Painters and royal messengers scramble to document the event for the kingdom's chronicles. Brennan receives the praise. You receive the purse, 300 gold coins. Your share of the arrangement. It is the most you have ever earned on a single job. But you cannot stop seeing the face of a boy named Doran, one of Harwick's guards who died with a spear through his throat during the assault. He was 16 years old, maybe 17. He probably didn't fully understand why he was there. You drink until you lose consciousness that night. It doesn't help much. Level 4, the Swordsman. You are 33 years old. You work alone now. No partners, no groups, no splitting the purse or the risk or the guilt. 2 short swords at your belt, longbow across your back, dagger in your boot. You have killed 21 men with bounties on their heads. Most deserved it. Some perhaps didn't. You stopped making that distinction a long time ago. You cannot afford to. The notices say dead or alive. Dead is simpler. Dead men don't escape in the night. Don't eat your supplies. Don't cry out for help when you pass through villages. The law doesn't ask questions about a corpse with a posted bounty. You are hunting a woman called Mira of the Shadows. That is what they call her. No one knows her real name. A former assassin of the Iron Guild, cast out after refusing an order. Wanted by 3 different lords for 3 different crimes. The combined reward reaches 700 gold coins, the highest you have ever pursued. You track her for 9 weeks across 4 kingdoms. Harbor towns, slave markets, nomadic camps, monasteries. She is good, the best you have ever chased. She changes her appearance, her name, her language. Once you lose her completely for 3 straight days and only find her again because she makes one small mistake, she buys the same specific type of dark rye bread into different cities. You had memorized her habits. You find her in a market in Kalvara, in the south. She realizes you spotted her at the exact moment you see her. Her eyes don't leave yours for half a second. She runs. You run after her. 5 blocks through narrow streets, stairwells, rooftops. She is faster, but you know the exits. You corner her against a wall in the Dyer's Alley. She has a knife in each hand. You have your swords. She attacks first. You fight for 3 minutes that feel like 30. She cuts your forearm. You knock one of her knives away. In the end, she is on the ground with your knee in her back and her hands bound. During the 4 days riding back, she says nothing. She only watches you, not with hatred, with something that looks more like curiosity. On the last night, she asks, "Have you ever considered you're on the wrong side?" You don't answer. You deliver her. You collect the gold, but the question stays. Level 5, the legend. You are 38 years old. Your name travels through taverns across 4 kingdoms. Some call you the Fist of Justice. Others call you the Butcher. You don't care about either. 83 men captured across your career. 36 dead. You charge 40% of the bounty now. For high-risk targets, you demand half upfront. The Lords pay. They have no choice. The Dravos family. For brothers, road bandits and kidnappers, responsible for the death of a royal ambassador and 23 members of his escort. The king himself posted the reward, 2,500 gold for the capture or confirmed death of all 4. You negotiate 2,000. 6 months of work. You chase them across 5 kingdoms. Change horses 12 times. Sleep in ditches, caves, stables. Eat whatever you find. You lose weight. Your hair, once brown, goes almost completely gray during this hunt. You track them to the low city of Vornmocht, a maze of alleys, sewers, and black markets where the city guards were bought long ago. You spend 3 weeks infiltrated there, posing as a spice merchant, building the trap with patience. You convince the marshal of the neighboring city to bring crossbowmen. When the Dravos brothers walk out of the warehouse with sacks of gold from their latest robbery, the city falls on them. The 3 eldest brothers die in the street. The youngest, 16 years old, surrenders in tears. You deliver him alive. The king hangs him anyway. You collect 2,000 gold coins. But you have real enemies now. Thieves' guilds that lost members. Families wanting revenge. Survivors who made promises in the dark. There is a price on your head. 1,000 gold coins. No official notice. Just whispers in shadowed taverns and promises in bandit camps. You carry 3 weapons everywhere. You never sit with your back to the door. You never sleep in the same place 2 nights in a row. You never fully trust anyone. You have 11,000 coins buried across 6 locations. Enough to buy land, a minor title, and honest life. But that life feels like it belongs to someone else. You have killed too many people to reach it. Level 6, the marked man. You are 43 years old. You were tracking the remnants of the Brotherhood of the Black Knife, a criminal organization that has operated between kingdoms for 20 years. A 3,000 gold contract from the Royal Council. You got close. Too close too fast. They ambushed you in the Varn Pass. 8 riders, crossbows and swords. Your horse died with 3 bolts in its neck. You took a bolt through the left shoulder and a deep gash across your ribs. You crawled through a freezing stream for 2 hours while they swept the pass searching for you. You heard them talking and laughing. They knew who you were. They wanted you dead, not for the law, for sport, for reputation. Because you had killed too many of their brothers, you made it to a village half dead. A healer dug out the bolt, stitched your ribs, told you to rest for a month. You rested for 9 days. But now you are marked. Every outlaw west of the Aldenmere River knows your face, knows your name, knows you are wounded. The Brotherhood put up 1,000 gold. Dead only. Notices with your face circulate in every outlaw camp, every remote tavern, every hideout in 4 kingdoms. You cannot take contracts anymore. Cannot show your face in the open markets, the guard posts, the lord's courts where you used to walk freely. You are hiding in a boarding house in the city of Caldane Moor. 3rd floor, back room, window facing the alley below. You have 14,000 coins buried across 7 locations. Enough to vanish. Buy land in the far reach under a false name. Live quietly, but they will find you eventually. They always do. Someone will recognize you. Someone will want that 1,000 gold. And no one in the city owes you anything. You sit in your room with the curtains drawn, sword on the table, listening to every footstep in the corridor, every sound from the alley below. You sleep in fragments. When you actually do sleep, You dream of the pass, the stream, the cold, the sound of your horse screaming. You are not hunting anymore. You are prey. The hunter became the hunted. And you know how this ends. They are coming. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. But they are coming. And when they do, one of you dies. Level 7. The last ride. You are 45 years old. You have been running for 14 months. Town to town. Never more than 4 days in any one place. Never using your real name. Sleeping with one hand on your sword. Waking at every sound. Eating alone at the back of half-empty taverns where no one knows your face. But they found you. They always do. You are in the city of Thornwall, in the southern reaches of Valdris. The same kingdom where you took your first bounty 26 years ago. You are drinking at the bar in the early afternoon, trying to quiet the trembling in your hands when the door opens. You know before you turn. The way the room goes silent. The way the barkeep takes a slow step backward. The way the air changes. 5 men. You recognize 2 of them. Brotherhood soldiers. The third you don't know. The fourth is a mercenary you once worked with for 3 weeks in the Eastern Marches. 6 years ago. You remember his name, Corin. He was decent back then. Now he stands there for 1,000 gold pieces and doesn't meet your eyes. The fifth man steps forward. He is tall, lean, with a long scar running from his left eye down to his jaw. His name is Aldrich. Not Aldrich the Greasy. This Aldrich is his son. The boy whose father you killed on a riverbank for 2 silver coins when you were 19 years old. He has been searching for you for 11 years. You didn't even remember the father's face until this moment. We've been looking for you for a long time, Aldrich says. His voice is steady, almost calm. That's what scares you most. You don't answer. You are calculating. 5 against 1. You might drop to before they reach you. Maybe 3 if you move first and move fast. Maybe none. His hand moves, you draw. 26 years of muscle memory. 26 years of survival. You are still faster than any of them. 2 of the Brotherhood men drop before they clear their weapons. Corin takes a blade across the chest and staggers into the wall. But Aldrich and the last man are already moving. You feel the first sword bite into your side deep. You keep moving. The second catches your leg. Your knee gives. The third opens your shoulder to the bone. You fall. You land on your back on the cold stone floor of a tavern in the city where it all started. You stare up at the ceiling. There is a crack in the plaster, running from the corner beam all the way to the center, shaped like a river. You think of the Grey River, where you found Aldrich the Greasy sleeping on his sack of flour all those years ago. You think about how simple that morning seemed, even though your hands were shaking just as badly then as they are now. Aldrich stands over you. He looks down at you for a long moment. He does not look like a man who got what he wanted. He looks like a man who has spent 11 years walking towards something and only now realizes it won't fill the space it was meant to fill. He turns and walks out. His men follow. They don't take the bounty. They don't need to. This was never about the gold. You are alone on the floor. Someone is shouting for a physician, but you have watched enough men die to recognize the signs. The cold spreading from your side outward. The strange heaviness in your limbs. The edges of the room going soft and dark. You think about the men you killed. 51 in the end. You remember most of their faces. The ones who fought back and the ones who didn't. The ones who begged and the ones who accepted it quietly. The boy in the Crestfall Fortress. Mirror of the Shadows, sitting in a cell you delivered her to, asking you a question you never answered. You think about the 11,000 gold coins buried across 7 locations. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody ever will. All of it for nothing. You should have walked away. After the first year, after the first real money, after the first real nightmare. There were 100 mornings when you could have stopped. Bought land somewhere quiet. Learned to be a different kind of man. But you didn't. You told yourself one more job, one more purse, one more year. Now the ceiling is all there is. You chose this. The cold spreads, the dark comes in from the edges, and the river on the ceiling just keeps running.